Hello guys and welcome to my Newcastle United career mode, and here we go. Starting up, I've brought in all the players who we've signed so far in the 2014-2015 season, including De Jong and Remy Cabella. What I'm going to do first of all is take a quick look through the squad and take a look, see what kind of players we've got. So as you can see, we've got a few backup goalkeepers. Tim Krul is the first choice, obviously. Rob Elliott is our backup. I do believe Freddie Woodman is going to go out on loan. As you can see there, quite a few youngsters in the centre backs as well, but a little bit short in terms of right backs. We've only got Daryl Janmat and Ryan Taylor. Again, we're also taking a look at the centre midfield squad, which is filled up quite a lot with the likes of Moussa Sissoko, Medea Bede, who was on loan at Panathinaikos in the Greek Super League earlier. A lot of these players are going to be going out on loan, so that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to put some of them on loan, and I'm going to take a look. I have changed all the squad numbers as well to update it. But what I'm going to do first of all is take a quick look and change the formation, set up what's going to be my first choice team in terms of going forward and attacking teams. Now, in terms of the players that we've got, the formation I think is most suitable there is going to be a 4-2-2 formation with 2 strikers, 2 attacking midfielders, 2 defensive midfielders, and then a flat back 4 with Santon on your left back and Janmat on your right back. I haven't quite decided who's going to be my first choice centre back pairing now. Colaccini and Williamson played a lot last season, they're quite popular, but I think that the best choice is going to be Colaccini as the captain, and then having Yanga and Biwa as the pairing for Colaccini, or even if he did have a poor season last season. As you can see, you're updating the squad there. I'm going to have Emmanuel Riviere playing as a striker along with Papi Cisse. I think Riviere is going to play well off Cisse. If Cisse can hold up the ball and then bring Riviere's pace into it, then it's going to be quite beneficial there. As you can see there, I've got Cabella and De Jong in the 2 central attacking midfielder position, playing on the left and right of an attacking midfielder position, and then Vernon Anita and Che Tiote as the 2 holding midfielders there. Now, a lot of people will probably be questioning why I don't have Sissoko in there, but on FIFA 14 he's actually listed as a right midfielder, although he usually plays more as a centre midfielder. Now, as a result of that, it means that I can't actually bring him to the squad, but he will be on the bench and he will come on in games to influence the game, probably as a central defensive midfielder, because that's where I prefer him to play. I think he's fast, I think he's strong, and he's going to be able to get players off the ball and then control the play in front of that back 4. In terms of the players that I've gone for, a lot of the players are not necessarily going to be squad starters. Players like Yohan Gouffran, Gabriel Obtan, those kind of players may be leaving the squad. I know that Mike Williamson will definitely be leaving. I just don't think he's good enough, and he's coming up to 29 now. His stats will start to drop, and as a result of that, he is going to be leaving. And there are other players as well I'm going to see going out on loan, but what I'm doing here first of all, just organising the whole squad in terms of their positions, just so you can see the squad depth there. We've got a lot of left midfielders, and we don't need them because, quite simply, I don't play with left and right midfielders. If I am going to do that, I'm going to play them on the wings as left wing and right winger, which is where the likes of Yohan Gouffran and Hatem Ben Arfa would be playing. As you can see as well, Hatem Ben Arfa is not playing. He's traditionally a right winger, but given that this team is more about the passing movement, I don't think that Ben Arfa's style of play in running at players is necessarily going to be beneficial. Again, he will be on the bench, but if an offer comes in for him, then he may very well be leaving, and that's where we're going to be going from there. Jack Colback, there's a player that we brought in from Sunderland. Fantastic player. He's going to be one of those players who just works and works for the team. He is going to get games, but he's only 70 rated, which is a little bit disappointing because he is a good passer of the ball. He does have good vision. He has excellent work rate. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows his role in the team. As you can see there, a little bit lacking in the central attacking midfielder position as well. We've only got Remy Cabella and De Jong playing in those positions at the starting position, and we've got Haris Vučkić in that position as well, but I know the likes of Medea Bede, you've also got Moussa Sissoko playing there as well. Again, excellent option. But in terms of the front 2 positions there, you've got Emmanuel Riviere and Papi Cisse, and then you've got Facundo Ferreira as the option as a backup, and then you've got the likes of Iosi Perez, Adam Campbell and Adam Strong, but those types of players will be going out on loan. As you can see here, just sorting out all the players and then getting them selected to go on to loans here. So the likes of Olivier Kamen, Adam Armstrong, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds who aren't highly rated will be going on loan. It'll give them more first-team experience, it'll help boost their potential, and hopefully pick up a few attributes along the way. And I'm also going to put players up for transfer who I simply don't think are good enough for the team, or I simply won't be paying. It will help boost up our funds and it'll help us, give us an option. There is one thing I did want to mention, is that I have updated all of the squads and I have updated the whole team in terms of the players that we brought in for the 2014 season, but it was just announced as I was playing this particular episode that we'd signed Yamal Lascelles and Carl Darlow from Nottingham Forest, and they've been loaned back to Nottingham Forest. So what I'm going to do in this episode as well, I'm actually going to bring in those two players. I'm going to try and sign them, and then I'm going to send them back out on loan. Not necessarily to Nottingham Forest, because as far as I can tell there's no way to actually do that, but in terms of going forward, I am going to try and those kind of players, and I'm also going to try and bring in a couple of other players that we've been aiming at. There are going to be players that I'm going to be targeting who I know we've been linked with in real life. This is going to be very much focusing on the real targets. As you can see there, just showing I've listed Williamson, Gutierrez, Obertan and Ferguson have all been transfer listed. The rest all are going out there on loan for the whole season. Hopefully they'll pick up a few points, but the players I really do want to get rid of are the likes of Gutierrez, Williamson and Obertan, players who I simply don't think have a future at the club. Ferguson is a little bit disappointing because we had high hopes for him, but unfortunately he didn't really do anything at Birmingham City, so I'm going to let him go. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to bring up a few players that I actually want to be signing. So you can see here the first player I'm looking for is Yamal Lascelles from Nottingham Forest, and I'm going to pull him up and add him to my shortlist. He is a young English centre-back, which is exactly what we need. We don't have many centre-backs, we don't have great options there in terms of that. He is only 20 and he made something like 37 appearances for Nottingham Forest last season, so he's a great prospect for the future. He's been capped at the under 17, under 18 and under 19 level for England, but he's never been capped at the under 20 level as yet that I'm aware of. Carl Darlow as well, also English goalkeeper, became the first choice goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest in January 2013. Fantastic option there. He'll be a lot better than the likes of Rob Elliott, who is getting quite on a bit. He's now 27, I believe, and he's never really convinced me in terms of being a good goalkeeper and a good stop chopper. Even if he does have fantastic distribution, that's not what you need in a goalkeeper, and it's not going to win you points. You need someone who can stop shots. You need a reflex goalkeeper like Tim Krul is, who's obviously always going to be the first choice unless a huge offer comes in for him. If a huge offer does come in for him, then it's likely that he will leave, the same as any other player. We are notoriously a selling club. If we get a big offer in, then we can only really sell them. Again, they're bringing up Carl Darlow as well, 22 there, so he is younger than Rob Elliott. He's got some opportunities for growth there. The next player I'm looking for is someone I'm not 100% on, is Clement Grenier. We've been linked with him in the past. We've been trying to get him. We put in an offer of 7 million for him, which was rejected outright. And I'm not too sure about him, because the reason I'm not sure about him is that we already have a packed central midfield. We already have players like Moussa Sissoko, Medea Bede, Haris Vuškić. Those players can all come in to replace the likes of Siem de Jong and Remy Cabella if they do get injured, and they would do a perfectly adequate job. So I'm not 100% if I'm going to go for him. I'm just going to add him to the list as a option there. The next player I'm looking for is Virgil van Dijk, who plays for Celtic at the moment as a centre-back. He's very highly rated. He's done well in the Champions League last season, but because this is the 2013 season, and we'll actually only show that he is only recently joined the club, so the opportunity for us to actually bring him in, since he there recently resides from FC Groningen, it's unlikely that we'd be able to get him in. So he may be what we like to think of as a future target. Hopefully we can get him in the future. Another player that we've been linked with as well is Loic Remy. But again, he's a player that I'm not sure on, and there's two reasons why. The first reason is that he's back at QPR, and it means that they're going to put a huge value on him in terms of how much we can buy him for. The other option as well that I have is that he doesn't want to join Newcastle. He doesn't want to because he wants to play for a team that is offering the Champions League. He's already had a medical at Liverpool, which strangely failed, but we don't know why that failed. But in terms of the options that we have there, I simply don't think that he's a realistic target for Newcastle. He wouldn't join unless we were offering huge wages, and that's not what we're about. It's not what I would want to be as a manager, so I'm not going to be bringing him in. The other player we're going to be looking at as well is Alexandre Lacazette, who plays in the French league. He's a popular player. He's someone who's been linked with since the beginning of the transfer window. We were linked with him and Clement Grenier, who play for exactly the same team. The other player as well that we've been linked with, I haven't added on the list, is Bafétimbi Gomis, who I don't think is, again, a realistic target simply because he's a little bit older than the players that we normally go for. I believe he's 27, 28 now, so I don't think that he's beneficial in terms of bringing forward. He'd only be a 1 or 2 season player before he had to be sold because his attributes would start to drop, so I don't think that's a beneficial there. But there you go, I&J Lacazette, 22 from Olympique Lyonnais, fantastic player. I've added him to the shortlist and I've started scouting him as well, so I think the players that I've selected so far and going forward will bring a lot of depth to the team and will benefit us in terms of going forward. The final player that I think I was looking at was Joel Campbell, but I realised that actually, again, because of the 2013 season, he's actually going to be on loan again in the Greek Super League, which means that he's not going to be able to join over to us. He's not even in the Arsenal squad list. He'll be in the Greek, so we wouldn't be able to get him in this season. So I haven't added him in either. So the players we're going to be targeting are Jamal Lascelles, Carl Darlow, Clement Grenier possibly, Alexandre Lacazette, and they're the players that I'm realistically going to be going for. I don't think realistically we need any other further backing up. We possibly need another centre back and possibly a right back, but Ryan Taylor can do a perfectly adequate job. He's fantastic at free kicks, and he's a worthwhile player even if he is 29 and his stats will start to drop in the near future. But those are the players that we're going to be going for. What I'm going to do now is just quickly show you our targets for the season. So the domestic cup objective is reach the round of 16. I think we can do better than that. I'm going to be hoping for the quarterfinals. Hopefully we get a decent cup run and then we'll get more money for the next season. And again, qualifying for the Europa League, that's a realistic target. I think it's a realistic target for the Newcastle team, and the squad that we've got is certainly going to be one that we should be pushing for there. Opening day fixture is going to be Manchester City. It's a really tough fixture and it's going to be really, really hard to get a good result out of that, but hopefully we play well and we've got a decent option there. So the first thing we get is a offer for Sammy Amiobi, who I've decided to reject this offer, and the reason why that is, even if it is 50,000 more than we thought he's actually worth, is I think Sammy Amiobi has a future. He's fast, he has some good vision on him, he just needs to improve his stats a little bit and possibly improve his strength because he is quite weak and he is knocked off the ball quite easily. That is one of the problems there. So I was just checking there is whether I'd actually listed him for loan or transfer, because it could have been that I'd made a mistake there. But I rejected the offer outright because I don't think that he's you know, a player that I would want to lose. I think there's more to him than what we've got at the moment. But an offer for Fabrizio Colaccini from Sunderland of all teams, I've rejected all offers. He's the team captain. He is 31. His stats are going to drop, but he's not going to leave. He's our best defender, and I think that he's got some a season or two left in him, and I think I would want to keep him as the captain. There, Freddie Woodman is going out on loan to Plymouth Argyle, which is going to be fantastic for him. Hopefully he builds up some points when he turns 17, and he starts to become a good option for coming off the bench or playing in cup games, which is what you want your goalkeeper to be doing, your backup goalkeeper. Carl Darlow there, you've got competition for the likes of Jack Alnwick and Freddie Woodman, who are both quite young, but with Carl Darlow coming in and possibly pushing Rob Elliott further down the pecking order, you've got that fantastic option there. And we start to get the scouting reports coming through from our scouts in terms of the options that we've got in terms of what they're worth and that type of thing. Again, Jamal Lascelles, he doesn't look great in terms of his stats, but he is 6'2", which is quite big for a defender, which is exactly what you need. He could possibly replace Mike Williamson as a player who will be leaving, and then Jamal Lascelles will come in to replace him. But again, I would want him going back on loan first of all to improve his stats some more, and then when he comes back in the 2014-2015 season, hopefully then we'll be able to get that. Carl Darlow, again 22, fantastic prospect there in terms of going forward. My big target is going to be Alexandre Lacazette. I think he will bring a lot to the team. I think he's a fantastic option in terms of growing that. I don't think it's realistically we're going to get any of the other targets. Clement Grenier, Loic Remy, I can't see them joining the team. Clement Grenier simply because I don't see him as a realistic option. I don't see him as being needed in the squad, even if he's only 22. I simply don't think it's going to happen there. So I'm just deleting all the scout reports now, and we've got a transfer offer, and that's for Mapu Yanga Mbiwa. Now, he had a poor season, And you know, a lot of people were saying, should he go back to France? Is he actually good enough for the Premier League? I'm going to leave him in. I think he needs time to grow and he needs time to adapt to the Premier League, but he is a fantastic player, and I really think that him pairing with Colchini will work very well. Adam Armstrong, though, going on loan to a Spanish side, I believe, which is going to be good for him. Hopefully getting a few goals there, and that'll work. In terms of offers, we've got Carl Darlow here going in for 950,000. I dropped the offer down to 750,000. Hopefully they'll accept that, and we'll be able to bring him in and then send him back out on loan. Does have a 4-year contract to me. It's difficult for him to get in, especially since he wouldn't be a first team choice for us. Alexandre Lacazette, they want 16.5 million. I can't afford that. First of all, I don't think it's realistic for him, so I'm going to put in a offer for 9 million. £9 million for a player who I think is 22. He hasn't proven himself in the Premier League yet, so that's what I'm going for. And Van Dijk, unfortunately, as it says there, he's recently joined us, so we simply couldn't get him. So he's going to be a future prospect. He's going to be a target we might possibly get in the future, but no guarantees about that. And Jamal Lascelles, the player that we've got there, is 1 million for him. I'm going to offer up 750, well 850 actually, just to 850,000. I think that's a realistic amount for a 20-year-old, well a 19-year-old centre back who hasn't proven himself in the Premier League but has done very well in the Championship since becoming their first choice centre back. So hopefully we'll get that offer in and we'll be able to put them in. Again, he is a first team offer. Cisse, with us bringing in Lacazette, I don't think I need Cisse. He is 28. He's not going to be our highest rated striker. So I am possibly going to offer up, but I would want more than they offered. So I'll put in there 6.5 million. That's how much I would want for him. But Alexandre Lacazette has accepted the offer. We put in for exactly what he wants and as a crucial first team player, because he would displace Papi Cisse as the #1 choice for our striker there. And the other option is Carl Darlow, who we decided to get on there. Now he wants 8,000, which I offer him. He wants 4 years. I'll offer him that as well. But I am only going to offer him a future first team player, because he wouldn't come straight in. He would go back out on loan, and hopefully when he comes in, he would be more of a squad rotation player. But whether he'll accept that, because he is a important first team player for Nottingham Forest. And Jamal Lascelles, again, a similar story there. Important first team player with a 5-year contract. We offer him what he wants, and as a future first team player, because he won't come in and displace any of the first choice centre back parents. He wouldn't even replace the backups at the moment, which is Stephen Taylor and Mike Williamson. So hopefully we get something good back from there. Now Werder Bremen say that they don't want 6.5, they only want to pay 4.2. I'm happy to accept 4.5. That's what I think he's worth in terms of going forward, and I simply don't think he's good enough to be playing for Newcastle. He had a bad season, he didn't score too many goals. I think if someone wants to come in for him, that's fine. Unfortunately, Carl Darlow does actually reject us. He wants a bigger role at the club. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to offer him the same wages, the same squad length, but I'm going to offer him a squad rotation player. And then hopefully as a result of that, he accepts the offer and I can send him back out on loan. And if he doesn't go out on loan, I can bring him in for cup games, and then that will hopefully keep him happy there. And Alexandre Lacazette accepts the contract straight away. He's perfectly happy with that. So he comes in and he displaces Papi Cisse as the first choice. So we're now going to have Emmanuel Riviere and Alexandre Lacazette as the first choice pairing in terms of the front there. So he is actually higher rated than Papi Cisse. He's 78 compared with Cisse's 76, which is fantastic. The only problem I have is that both players are quite similar. They're quite similar in terms of going forward, and you know, they're not necessarily going to be the best in terms of going forward. Lacazette is hopefully going to hold up the ball in the same way that Cisse would to the Emmanuel Riviere, and come in and play off the striker and then go in and score some goals that way, because Emmanuel Riviere is a fast player. He's extremely fast. We've got a friendly here against Parma, which I decided to sim. I'm not too bothered about friendlies. I don't think they're important, so I'm just going to sim until we get the first match against Manchester City. So you can see there, full strength lineup, and we do actually win this game 1-0 with Sissoko coming off the bench to score a goal out, which is fantastic. But it's a little bit disappointing that we didn't score more goals, but we've got no injuries, which is always the best thing coming out of pre-season. And Werder Bremen do actually accept our offer for 4.5 million for Cisse, so he will hopefully be moving over to them. And Curtis Good, is actually going on loan to Doncaster. He's a player I have high hopes for. He is 20, but he is already capped by the Australian team. So hopefully when he comes back, he'll have a few more caps and he'll do well. But Jamal Lascelles, again, he rejects our offer because of the squad role we've offered him. So I'm going to offer him exactly the same as Carl Darlow, squad rotation player. Send him back out on loan when he joins us, and hopefully when he comes back, he'll actually be able to fill that role. Next, we have a away friendly against Marseille, but first of all, we've actually got Carl Darlow signing up, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is bring him in, and then I'm just going to straight away put him back out available for loan. Hopefully someone picks him up and he gets some game time at the team that he's offering there. Didn't see there, going in, sell players straight away. Carl Darlow is going to be selected as going out on loan. He's actually 68 rated, which is fantastic in terms of the options that we have there. So he will hopefully displace Rob Elliott when he comes back as the backup goalkeeper, which is exactly what you'd want when you sign a player of that kind of age, really. So here we have an away match against Marseille. It's again friendly, it's in that match. Playing exactly the same team, don't want to change things up too much. And we win at 2-1, Santon and Cabella scoring, and Valbuena scoring a penalty in the 9th minute. And we have some good news coming back. We've got Jamal Lascelles who accepts our offer, so we bring him in, and then what we'll do is we'll send him back out on loan. And we've got a couple of offers for Che Tiote and Tim Krul. Tim Krul is not going to be sold. I simply don't think that he's a goalkeeper we should be selling, so I'm going to reject the offer outright. I do reject the offer from Frankfurt for Che Tiote, and I'm just going to reject it. I'm not going to reject it outright or reject all offers because we may get a huge amount then. Swansea surprisingly want Tim Krul there when they've already got Michael Vaughan there, but I do know that he went over to Tottenham, to Tottenham rather. So he's obviously going there, so they're trying to replace him with their what should be, in my opinion, the first choice goalkeeper for Holland or the Netherlands, however you want to put it. And Lascelles there 66 rated, so he is a fantastic player, higher rated than our current players like Remy Street and Lubomir Sadka, but again their future prospects 17, 18. Hopefully they'll go out on loan and I'll come back with a few more points on there, so they'll go out on loan as well. So hopefully Carl Darlow and Jamal Lascelles will go out on loan and they'll come back as fantastic players. We have one final friendly there, but we do again have an offer for Peace Cisse, but that's from Aston Villa. So my thinking is that I don't want Cisse coming back to haunt me and playing against us and scoring against us. So I've rejected the offer. I won't sell a player to another Premier League side because it means that we're going to risk coming back to haunt us and destroying one of our games. So we have one final game against Hanover. I don't change anything there. Paul Dummett wants to play, but I ignore that request. So we're just going to sim this match going forward, and then hopefully we'll do quite well there. (5-1) there with Lacazette getting a brace. Cabella, De Jong and Ferreira doing fantastically well. Ferreira actually prefers being referred to as Chucky. There is a video on nufc.com explaining why he likes getting called that, but I just like calling him by his actual name there. He won't get too much game time because I know that he's only been brought in on loan, but I've had to bring him permanently. But he is only 72 rated, so he's not going to displace the likes of Emmanuel Riviere or Alexandre Lacazette without a benefit there. Gael Bigaromana, again a player I have high hopes for there, 63 rated at the age of 19, fantastic. He's going out on loan to Reading for the season. Hopefully he'll do well there and come back and be able to sit on the bench and come in wherever we can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up a couple of instructions. So I'm going to have my scouts sent to 3 different locations: Germany, France and Belgium. France for obvious reasons, Germany because they've been producing some fantastic players, and Belgium because it's not a place that a lot of scouts actually go, but there have been some fantastic players coming from there, the likes of Romelu Lukaku, Christian Benteke, those kind of players all seem to dominate in those kind of leagues, so hopefully we can get some there. I'm searching for 2 types of players. I'm searching for a first team quality right back to come in as a backup to Daryl Janmaat, because Ryan Taylor is getting old and he's not going to be able to keep up with the number of games that are in the Premier League as much. So we're going to go for a first team quality right back, less than 25 but over the age of 21, so they've got some experience there. The other one I'm going to be looking for is a new centre back to replace Stephen Taylor, because Stephen Taylor, even if he's a legend to the club and people think that he's you know, this hero graduating from the Newcastle Academy and then coming into the first team. I simply don't think he's good enough. I think he makes too many mistakes. So I want a first team quality player who's defensively minded. I don't want someone who's going to be bombing forward and leaving us susceptible at the back. So that's where we're going to be at the moment. Hopefully we'll come back with some good instructions there, and we'll have some good players scouted, and we'll be able to get some players in before the end of the transfer window. But the first season that we have available, or rather the first game we have open, is actually going to be the Manchester City game. But Shane Ferguson comes in with an offer £50,000 less than what he's worth, but that's fine because I don't have a role for him. 22 and 66 rated, not exactly the best, and I don't see a future with the club, especially with Sammy Omiobi, who's rated higher than him, and he's at a younger age. Hopefully he'll grow more and he'll do well, and see that confirmation that Shane Ferguson has actually left to Nottingham Forest, which is interesting because that's where Jamal Lascelles and Carl Darlow have come from, so they've obviously used the funds there to poach one of our own players. So going forward, we're going to be, our opening game is away to Manchester City. It's a huge game. It's really difficult. It's really tough. As you can see how we've got confirmation that he's been sold. Olivier Kamen, going on loan to Exeter City for the season. He's a player that joined this season actually from the French leagues, I believe. He was a young hot prospect, and hopefully he'll do well for us. We'll come back with a few players there, and the two I'm most interested in there is Joel Matip and Benedict Howardez, both from Schalke. I think that Joel Matip is the more realistic target. I know Benedict Howardez is a great player and he's very popular, and he plays very well for Schalke. I think Joel Matip is younger, and I think he's probably not going to be guaranteed to get games, especially with Schalke's defence there. So I'm going to scout them players. I'm going to also scout Mo Toprak, who is 25, so he's a little bit older. He's at the sort of higher bracket of what I want to be going for there. But hopefully, you know, if either Benedict Howardez or Joel Matip don't work out, then we go for him as our third option there. Surprisingly, we don't actually find anything in Belgium, which is disappointing. But we do find a couple of players in France. And there's one player in particular that I'm very excited about, and that's Bruno Equile Manga. He's a fantastic player. He's very highly rated, 25, but I think he could do very well, and I think he could be a good pair for Yanga and Biwa. Nicholas Nkulu, I was actually going to scout, but there's a particular reason why I'm not going to scout him, and the reason why that is because I know that Arsenal and Liverpool and the likes of that are all very interested in bringing him to the Premier League, and I don't think he's a realistic target for Newcastle. I don't think he'd join, or I don't think that he'd want to join a club that isn't offering at least European football, and that's not what we're offering there. So we're going into the Manchester City game here. Newcastle in their away kits, Manchester City in their home kits. I'm going to show you the lineup there, and just confirm we are playing on world class with the 6.5s. And I'm just going to show you the lineup that we're going with, and just to confirm the formation. So there you've got your 4-2-2-2. You have all the players there. You've got Ferrier as the backup. I'm going to actually replace him with Cisse. Actually, I'm not, because I know Cisse is going to be sold there. So rather than do that, I'm just going to keep him there. I'm not going to bring anyone there. Tim Krul, the goalkeeper, Daryl Yamba as right back, Yanga and Mbio and Colaccini as the centre back pairing, Davide Santon on the left. You've then got Chait Tiote and Van Nenite as the defensive midfielders holding in front of the back four, and then you've got Siem de Jong and Remy Cabella on the left and right, and then Emmanuel Riviere and Alexandre Lacazette as the front two. Hopefully they'll be able to score a few goals here. This is a match I'm not expecting to get a whole lot from. I can't say I'm particularly excited about it because Manchester City are a fantastic squad. The likes of Alvaro Negredo, Stefan Jovetic, Yaya Toure, you know, those kind of players, they're going to be able to dominate the game. With Vincent Kompany at the back, it's going to be very difficult to break down. So hopefully we'll be able to possibly nick a result or go for a draw, but I realistically can't see us, you know, going for a big win or dominating in this team. It's simply not going to be an option because the back four, you've got the likes of Vincent Kompany, Martin Demichelis, Joe Hart in goal. You know, it's going to be very difficult to get past those kind of players and to get a good result there. But hopefully we'll do well there, and as you can see there, you've got Pablo Zabaleta on the right, Gael Clichy on the left, Jesus Navas, Fernandinho, those kind of players that worth, you know, collectively hundreds of millions of pounds, and yet our team is built of players that are worth possibly that amount, but we certainly didn't pay them for it. As you see here, straight away Manchester City on the attack, and they do fantastically well there, but actually do concede a free kick against one of our players there. So Tim Krul knocks it out, and hopefully we get a good spell of possession. What we don't want to be doing is having them dominating possession. That's one of the risks that we have, is them dominating possession and getting forward constantly. Chase there playing well there, managing to get past a couple of players, but he makes a mistake there and is knocked back. I did think initially that was a foul because he was actually knocked off the ball, but I don't think he had full control of the ball, and that's possibly why it wasn't there. As you can see, Manchester City again dominating the early stages there. The first 5 minutes have very much been Manchester City. They've held the ball well, they haven't really made too many mistakes there. As you can see here, they're just getting past our back four so easily. The holding midfielders aren't really doing their job there, just giving possession away very easily or not making the tackles, not winning those second balls. And as you see here, that's a fantastic effort there, and Tim Krul goes down very well to get down to that. And we try and knock the ball away, but we just give it very easily to one of the Manchester City players, and they come straight back at us, and they've got 5 players forward, and I was expecting them to score here, but Tim Krul manages to get the ball there, and we take control, at least for the first opening 10 minutes have been all Manchester City. We've not even had a shot on goal, we've not really had a sight of goal, but we come forward here and we've got 3 players forward. We should have more players forward. We seem to be holding back a little bit, afraid of Manchester City there. Now try and play a through ball over to de Jong, but it doesn't work, but we do get a throw in as a result of that. And there he is, Alexandre Lacazette, playing his first game for Newcastle, which is fantastic. And again, we're just gifting possession to Manchester City there, just losing the ball very easily, running into 3 players, Manchester City players, who were crowding over the ball. And as you can see, we're just not winning those second balls, we're not winning those opportunities to get the ball forward, and it's just a very, very cheap, very difficult way to get forward. And they come through on the left wing here, and very, very good save there from Tim Krul. I don't know if he tipped it onto the post or knocked onto the post, but he made a very good save there, got down the ball well. And we try with a counter attack here, and we've got hold of the ball, won the second ball there, and we try and bring players forward, but again, nobody really running forward. And we've got Desiree Santon coming on the left, and he loses control of the ball, and it gives Zabaleta an opportunity to pick up the ball there, which is disappointing there. So we are trying to get the ball back, but they're just running rings around us in terms of their ability and their skill in terms of holding the ball. And it's a fantastic back heel there, and you weren't expecting him to play it forward there. And there was a guy running into space, but unfortunately they didn't take advantage of that. Just hold on to the ball, and doing very well there. They've made a couple of mistakes in terms of pushing forward and making the right decision there, because there's been a couple of opportunities where I thought actually I would have played that pass, and they haven't done that, which is a little bit disappointing, in terms of Manchester City. But again, got some good opportunities. Chase holding the ball, and de Jong has seen a lot of the early ball, trying to dominate things, trying to dictate the play, which is the kind of play that you want there. It's what he's been brought in for. Captain at Ajax, made multiple appearances there. Riviere doing well, holding on to the ball there. Hopefully they'll form a good pairing, Lacazette and Riviere. They're both French, they both will understand each other, but it's going to be very difficult. And Lacazette and Riviere actually having to drop deep to be able to get the ball. Not what you want from your strikers. You want them to be able to up there, picking off the scraps from the back four, latching on any mistakes, but they're having to drop deep because we're dropping deep in our own half to try and hold on to the ball. And De Jong as well, dropping deep as well. He's a attacking midfielder, but he's having to drop deep to get the ball. Santon bombing forward as he often does. Tries to get in a good cross here, and it just misses everybody. I don't know where that was aimed to. Probably the back post, but Manchester City clear it away. But we've had a decent spell of possession there, but again, give it away very cheaply. In the first 30 minutes or so, the opening 10 minutes were dominated by Manchester City, but we've done well. And they come forward here with an excellent run down the left there. But Colaccini does well there, knocks the ball out of play, and they go for a corner. We knock the ball out there with the corner, but they get the ball straight back, and a fantastic save there from Tim Krul. It doesn't look like he wants to be beaten today in this opening game, so he does very well there. Here's a replay of that. So we really should be getting that ball out. We've had 3 attempts to get the ball, and Tim Krul just palms it away, just managed to get a slight touch on it. We've had 5 saves already in the opening 35 minutes, and again grabbing it very well from a header there. And we try and break away here. We've got Tiote on the ball there from a pass from de Jong. Santon again, and Santon just gives it away. Tiote actually wins it back, which is what he's fantastic for. He's there, he's aggressive, he wants to make the tackle, and that's what he does there. Nisa not really seen too much of him in this game, which is disappointing. A fantastic through ball there, but I actually thought we were fouled there. I thought we were being, Lacazette was being held back by the Manchester City player, but the referee didn't give anything, which is disappointing. But you know, it was a fantastic through ball. If we got onto that end of that should have been a goal. But Colaccini playing very well in defence there, you know, doing very well getting back and hopefully getting the ball there. But De Jong, same as Santon, on that right wing, we're being hammered in terms of losing the ball and losing possession. And hopefully that's something we can rectify in future matches. It is Manchester City, they are going to hurt us in terms of what they can do. But we get the ball back here and we go for a counter. Nida pushing forward, Lacazette on the ball there. He tries to play a through ball to Riviere, which is fantastic, and misses the defender, but Joe Hart clears up there. Manuel Riviere doing very well, trying to get in the pockets of space, trying to get onto those through balls, which you can see he's got some pace as well, which is what we're looking for. And made a mistake there and just gave it away to the Manchester City player. And fortunately enough, we managed to clear the balls out of our own box, and again we go on the counter attack, which is where we seem to be able to hurt Manchester City. But again, not really anything coming from it there, and we just, you know, have to sit deep in our own half, unable to really do anything, just waiting for an opportunity. And that's the first half over with. I think in terms of play there, Manchester City in terms of getting shots at goal, they've dominated. Six shots, 4 on target there. They've dominated possession as well, but they haven't really hurt us as much as they could. You'd expect them to finish. In their front two simply haven't done that, which is a little bit disappointing there. I was actually thinking about making some changes at half-time, but decided against that. I thought I'd keep with the setup I've got at the moment, and then hopefully we can do well. The player who I've not really seen too much of is Remy Cabella, and that's disappointing. You can see there he's actually moving into a right-back position there to cover Daryl Janmaat, who is moving forward. But Janmaat, I think, has the pace and the ability to be able to get back and cover those players, even if he does go forward. So, you can see there, actually does exactly that. He loses the ball and he goes and wins it back. And a fantastic save there from Tim Krul again, who's done very well in this particular game. And we go forward there, Lacazette, then a lovely ball to Siem de Jong. Siem de Jong clears it on the left. He does fantastically well, tries to play in a cross, and they knock it away there, which is a little bit disappointing. We should have done better there. We should have at least challenged for the ball, but I don't think we did enough there. Stefan Jovetic, who's done very well so far, he's playing very well, plays in David Silva, and David Silva really should have taken the shot earlier than he did, but unfortunately he didn't. And we're just losing the ball here. And Tim Krul, the fantastic save there, absolutely magnificent. Just a quick replay of that. Just to actually skip over that replay, just to give an opportunity there. Manchester City again, fantastic save again from Tim Krul. He's doing everything that he possibly could to keep us in it. You just wonder how long this is going to actually last for. He's been fantastic in goal so far between the sticks. And again, we get the ball here. We really should be going on the counter attack, which is what we try and do. But Vincent Kompany wins it back there, dominates there. Fernandinho on the ball. He goes for it. Skips past the defenders and only just is away from the goalkeeper there, which is fantastic. We got Davide Sante now on the ball. We've got Davide Sante here playing a lovely ball. Daryl Janmaat doing very well on the right, actually, surprisingly, bombing forward quite a lot like Debussy, who was sold to Arsenal. But Lacazette cheaply gives the ball away there, very easily giving away possession. And Aguero on the ball here makes a lovely run through, and it's Jovetic and Aguero who play up front there and doing very well in terms of getting through the Newcastle defence, but not really dominating in terms of the opportunities they've got there. And Cabella, not really seen too much of him, not really been overly impressed with him, but he does very well here going down the right hand side. Plays in a lovely through ball to Riviere, which Vincent Kompany, as usual, just managed to clear that up and get the ball and put Man City back in the front foot, which is what he's done for Belgium, is what he's done for Man City. He's done very well in that kind of position there. And Tiote trying to clear over the back there, but doesn't really do a good job. Aguero just skipping past challenges, doing very well, and only just misses there. You would have expected him to score that one there, but just too easily gets past our defence, and it's a real disappointment that he's just gone too easily. And made a huge mistake there in giving the ball very cheaply to Aguero, which surprisingly didn't actually finish. You would have thought he would have taken that first time, but that was a huge mistake, and we fortunately weren't punished for it. But they get a corner from it as a result of that, and Cabella just knocks the ball to Vincent Kompany, and Vincent Kompany just smashes it in the bottom corner, as you expect. And I think that was really, you know, deserved for Manchester City. They really deserved that one. So good goal, but disappointing that we didn't clear that early. Then we should have. Remy Player should have just knocked it out instead of passing it to Colaccini, which is what he was trying to do there. But we try and take control again in the game, but Manchester City dominating possession again. They play an absolutely lovely through ball to Sami Nasri there, but Yanga and Bio managed to clear up there, which is fantastic. De Jong's had a lot of the ball, but not really done much with it. I think that's because he's been dropping deep too much. Riviere does very well, but unfortunately, you know, the number of players that Manchester City are getting back to defend, they're defending as a unit, which is not what we're doing. But Colaccini and Jan Mat working well there to stop that attack, and Lacazette gets the ball here. Cabella holding on to the ball. It was a foul initially. Lacazette gets the ball back, and unfortunately does just sort of, you know, misplaces his position there, and as a result of that doesn't really get anything on it. But Colaccini was moving forward and hopefully trying to do something with it, but again he doesn't, which is a bit of a disappointment. We've actually had more possession than Manchester City, and I think that was the result of the opening, you know, half an hour where they dominated the first 10 minutes, and then we did very well in the last 20-30 minutes of the half there. But they should have really scored in that opening sequence there, but they just couldn't get a foot on it to prod it home. We've got Riviere on the ball here, who's holding up the ball very, very well. Chitiote taking hold of the ball. And it's just a little pass and move sort of situation here. Santon gets the ball, Lacazette holding on to it, puts through Santon. Santon scores! Fantastic goal. And he puts him in there. It's an absolutely fantastic finish from Santon. Surprisingly coming all the way in from the left there, playing more of a central role there, and just absolutely smashes it in terms of the opportunities there, which is fantastic. And hopefully it means we can get a draw out of this game. You know, we've got 13 minutes left of you know, the half plus any added minutes. I don't really think it's going to be too much, not too many stoppages for fouls and things. It's been quite a clean game, surprisingly. In Tim Krul there, just cleaning up there, not really too much to be difficult with. He'd be disappointed if he let that one in from there. But Cabella, again, holding on the ball, he actually played a part in the goal, so I'm actually quite impressed with that, which is fantastic. Lacazette really making the goal though, holding on the play and putting through Santon, who was coming through, which is fantastic. The Manchester City defence were disappointing there because they didn't really mark Santon as coming forward and just gave him the opportunity to get this shot off, and Joe Hart couldn't really do anything about it there. But again, Manchester City pushing for a second goal there. You know, that's exactly what they expected. You would expect them to push onto it, but we're defending well. And what I do here is I decide to make some changes to the team. I think it's necessary. I think we do need to do that. We do need to bring on some new players there. So what I decide to do is I decide to take off Emmanuel Riviere and bring on Chucky, as he likes to be called. And I also decided to bring on Moussa Sissoko, and I'm going to replace Vernon Nita with Moussa Sissoko, just to bring some pace and some strength. I know Anita is a very tidy player. He does very well in the positions there, and they actually bring on a couple of substitutes as well, including Negredo. I believe it's his debut in this match. He comes in the last 5 minutes, which is a little bit disappointing. I think he's, you know, good enough to be in the first team, not sitting on the bench for Manchester City. But Tiote holding on the ball, but just gets muscled off it there, which is surprising. But he tries to win the ball back. He's done very well. I think he's been my man of the match in terms of the performance there. He's trying to do things. He's trying to clear up. Even if he's not meant to create chances, he's held on to the ball. He's made the tackles. He's been that kind of all-round midfielder that you really expect from here. And I make another huge mistake here. You know, Tim Krul looking around, trying to play it short to one of our defenders, and we just give the ball very cheaply to Sami Nasri, and it's a very easy finish. Tim Krul out of position there, and that's, you know, a huge mistake there. And that's really disappointing because I thought we could have got a draw there. There was 3 minutes to go. We gave the ball away very cheaply from a goal kick. Shouldn't have done that. You know, you realise that actually you should be kicking the ball out with these kind of situations. It's a lesson learned, but it's a lesson that against Manchester City, if you make a mistake like that, they're going to punish you, and that's exactly what they did there. Last few sort of minutes of play here, we hold on the ball very well. We try and make something happen, pass the ball around, pass and move. We've got Cabella on the right here. We've got Chucky playing the ball, Janmat going forward. I was thinking about taking a shot. The hesitation there meant that I actually lost the ball. You've got Manchester City just playing for time now, really, passing the ball, passing it around the back. Not really gives an opportunity to get the ball, and very quickly realised that that's it. It's all over. We lost 2-1. There's a huge disappointment there, but I think we've done well. I think there's lessons to be learned, and in the next episode we'll show that we can actually progress and make some some good signings, hopefully improve on that. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye.